Hi, if you are an avid mall goer, you will probably notice the vibrant and bright colors of Juice Work, a reminder of the fact that more Malaysians are embracing a healthier lifestyle and a greater appreciation of natural foods. In this episode of Inspiring Individuals, we interview Juice Work founder and managing director Ling Mooi Li to share her success stories in creating a local household brand and how Juice Work manages to break into the mall and become a regular feature.
I started JuiceWorks with my husband in the year 2002. I previously was a pharmacist and we lived in Australia actually. So when we moved back to KL, we found that there wasn't many places that sold juices and smoothies. So we wanted, I think we tried a few places and we just couldn't find anything like what we're used to in Australia. But I actually started making them at home. And you know, when friends came over or relatives came over, I would make them a smoothie. And yeah, a few of them commented, they were like, your smoothies are really good, you should think about selling them. And they're all joking, like, you know, half said that. And I think after a while I was like, hang on, yeah, actually, why don't we think about doing something like that? Because it was something I was passionate about. I'm used to actually a lot more dairy in my products. So like myself personally, I drink a lot more, like have yogurt, a lot more yogurt in my products. I also have lots of quirky vegetables that I will put into my drinks. But when we first started actually, just getting the product into the market, because we wanted to make sure the Malaysians are used to that. You know, the taste bud has to be sweet, very sweet. Not to say sweet, it just has to taste good. So it was actually the challenging part was trying to make a smoothie that was healthy, but yet at the same time taste good. So the combination of flavors was very important. First came into the market, it was actually quite difficult because to introduce, I guess, the juice and smoothie concept to the malls, it was quite hard because initially they were very much like, oh, you won't be able to survive just selling juice or smoothie in the outlet. So you need to have some sort of food because a lot of them will be asking, oh, do you have any food in your menu? So actually the big malls, when we first came in, they were not that open to our concept. They actually didn't believe that it would work. I think cash flow is always the hard part. Trying to run a single juice bar on its own, when you first start, you kind of need to do your one-man show pretty much. So between my husband, myself, we had one graphic designer who started with us at the start, and then 2 staff in our outlet. And then we had lots of cousins and family that came to help us part-time basis. So I think the challenging part was actually trying to pay everybody on just one outlet. We had a bunch of shareholders that supported us at the start, so they invested in the company. Our plan was actually to open multiple outlets within the first year, which was actually a lot harder than we thought because of the obstacle. In our head we're like, oh yeah, we're going to open 5, we're going to have enough money to open 5. But the obstacle was actually finding the locations that we actually wanted to go into. I think it is very hard at the start to keep on going when you feel like, you're going, oh, where do we see a light at the end of the tunnel? Because you're working really hard. I remember my days used to be, we would work, so I'd start my day at about 7 o'clock in the morning. I'll drive to Selayang markets, I would load the van up with fruits. I'll come back to the outlet, unload. We start our retail market from 10 until 10. We close at 10 at night. I'll go back to the warehouse. We'll make sorbet and we'll grow wheatgrass. So probably like every day I was doing consistently. I was only going back to the house about 1 o'clock at night, and then we would sleep. 7 o'clock, wake up, do exactly the same thing again, over and over again. So at the start, I think what kept us going was actually, I think a belief in the product helped. We really felt we had a unique product offering at the time because there was nothing else in the market at the time that did what we did. Our philosophy itself, I think we're always customer orientated first, I would say. Like we very much, that's why we made all our drinks very much to fit taste buds in Malaysia. So I could have been very insistent and said, oh, I'm going to follow all my original recipes where, it fits more an Australian lifestyle where, very yogurt based, very heavy with, it's thicker. But a lot of the comments that we came back when we did the R&D initially, a lot of the I remember one auntie that I had, she tasted our drink and she said, tastes like mucus. And I was like, what? Mucus? And it's because of the yogurt content. So then we were like, oh, actually Malaysians actually don't really like it so thick. Then we had to tame it down, not put so much yogurt, put a lot more fresh fruits and vegetables in. We've got 7 morals and values that we live by in our company. And we're very much about building people from scratch. We're happy to train. Like we always say, we want to take newbies to come in. We just want fresh ideas. But we want to really see people grow in our company. Finding the right location is vital for the success of any juice bar. It is, I guess for us, every time we scout locations, the main thing we look for, our target audience actually, 85 to 90% of our target audience is ladies. So we find a lot of ladies like drinking our juices. I think for us, knowing that is our main market audience, we are always looking for family-oriented malls because we're talking about ladies or parents who are worried about their kids' health, then they will buy drinks for their juices for their kids, or they themselves are they're more educated because they're older. They know that I can't just go for a milkshake anymore or drink my iced coffees, so they will then choose detox juices. Or the older demographic as well. The challenge is actually finding who actually visits those malls. So the mix of the tenants in the mall is also very important. So looking at who manages the malls. So we find that if we can find like a mall that we have worked with, like say the Pavilion Group or the One Utama Group, we know who they are. Whenever they open a mall, we kind of know who the tenants are going to be as well. And they tend to bring a similar crowd into their mall. I think my biggest advice for entrepreneurs is actually go out and work for someone first. I actually find that humility in an entrepreneur is also important. When people come, I know a lot of entrepreneurs who come out, they may use I don't know, maybe they have a big family backing, money from their family. They've never worked a single day in their lives, and they say, I'm going to come out and be my own boss. I find they don't have the right heart attitude, yeah, the right heart attitude to come into the market. And I find it's a different mentality to even being an entrepreneur is also about leading a group of people. And I think actually that's very important. Like how successful you are will depend on how well you can lead a group of people, how much your team buys into your vision and stuff. And I learned a lot of that actually coming out and working. I always tell people that if you want to be an entrepreneur to make $1 million, then you're already stepping on the wrong. I think your first step into going in as an entrepreneur is already wrong, because I think not many entrepreneurs make $1 million. You know, straight away. It's not and I think that's why in Malaysia you see a lot of entrepreneurs come into the market, because they're like going, oh, I've got this dream and I'm going to make $1 million. And then when they don't make that $1 million, they pull out very quickly because they think, oh, I'm wasting my time, I'm not making my $1 million, so I'm going to find something else that will make me $1 million. So yeah, I wouldn't say it has been an easy journey, but at the same time, it's been rewarding. Like I've met so many people along the way. In terms of looking at the future for JuiceWorks, we are constantly always trying to bring new interesting things, or how to make smoothies. I think something that constantly drives us is actually educating people about health.
That's the end of our interview with Ling Mooi Li from JuiceWorks. If you would like to watch more, please subscribe to Star Property TV on YouTube. I'm Yen Li from Star Property TV. Thanks for watching.